Hey, did you know that there's three categories that we all fall into when it comes to money? And this may actually be the thing that's stopping you from being able to reach the next level of success. Hey, Jason here. If you've been watching the channel, you've been seeing me go through Johannesburg, and I'm actually winding down my ventures here in South Africa, getting ready to leave next month. And most importantly, you've been seeing me talk about success, what it is, and how to get it in the three areas of life that I focus on, which are happiness, health, and wealth. If you're new to the channel, the definition of success by Earl Nightingale is the progressive realization of a worthy idea. And let's just be honest, man, having more money is a very worthy idea. We have to stop this limiting beliefs of money is for evil people, only rich, bad people get money. There's great people in this world that have money, and you deserve to have money also because you're a great person. And so let's go ahead and get into what we're talking about today. Like, did you know that there was actually three categories that we all fall into when it comes to money? The first category is where a lot of people fall into, and this goes for a lot of Americans. So many people around the world believe Americans are so rich, they have all of this money. However, they're actually working poor. And what I mean by that is they fall into this first category of they spend more money than they actually earn. This is how you have people who are relying on credit card bills, things of that nature, or they're doing payday loans, car title loans, all of those things. So that is the first category that a lot of people fall into. The second category that a lot of people fall into is they spend exactly what they make, meaning they go to zero. These are people who are making it paycheck to paycheck. It's not as stressful for them. However, they can tell that they actually want to have a better life, but they just don't know what to do. And then the third one is people who actually save more than they spend. Now, this is one of the categories a lot of us believe that we're in, but if we actually start looking at our financial habits, we'll start seeing not many of us are in that category because you actually have to be taught how to save money. It's not something that's just genetically imprinted in us. And what I mean by that is just because a person leaves college, high school, varsity, and then they go and get a job, they don't have financial responsibility. That school, that institution did not teach them how to manage money. And this is something that's all over the world. You don't see many money management classes around the world and universities, especially what are making them a prerequisite to actually graduate. And so because of that, not very many people are in that category where they're actually saving more than they spend. So now let's go ahead and go back through the categories. I'm going to walk you through it in my personal life to give you examples of it. So believe it or not, Jason, before he became a world traveler, I did not have an understanding of how to manage money. And even the understanding I have now, I am still pushing it to other areas. I'm pushing it to where it can go and I can grow not only my net worth, but my legacy that I'm going to leave behind when I decide to leave this planet. And so I did start out in the first category. I was spending more than I earned. And I didn't know this. I didn't understand what I was doing. Like, this is what I want you to understand. Like, give yourself forgiveness, man. Like, if you grew up with anything like I grew up, like, my mom didn't have the opportunity to try to teach me this stuff because she didn't have the opportunity to learn it. She had to go out there and work. She was hustling. She was taking care, doing what she needed to do to provide for three boys. And so, like, you can't beat yourself up or beat up your family. Be like, oh, if I had a better family. You have the family that you have. Like, be grateful for it. And it took me a long time to understand to be grateful for the family that I have. They may have not given me the things that I thought I wanted, but they equipped me with so much more that I actually needed to get through this life, and get to the place to where I am today. So show gratitude for that. And for me, like when I was even in the military in the beginning, man, I didn't understand. I had zero understanding. Like, please listen to me on this. Think about it. You're going from high school. I went to the military straight out of high school. You know, in high school, you may be making 200, 300 bucks every 2 weeks or something, to where now I'm making, 1,000 bucks or something like that a month. That's a big pay increase. Plus, I don't have to pay rent, things like that. And I didn't have to pay food if I didn't want to. I could eat at the DFAC. Well, you still pay for food. They took it out of your check, technically. So you still pay for food, but you didn't have to pay for rent. And so I didn't have an understanding of how to budget money. Like the military don't teach you how to budget, yo. They let you just out there in the streets. And just imagine I go, let me see, at the time I was 18. 18-year-old kid, you're in South Korea. You're in a foreign country for the first time. True independence. You got to do everything you want, and you can drink legally. Well, no, at that time I was a couple of months off before I could drink legally because the drinking age in South Korea at the time was 19, and I was still 18. And so I didn't know what I was doing, man. I was just wasting money, mismanaging money, buying meat blankets, buying all these clothes, getting custom made FUBU jeans, jackets made, sending all of this stuff back home to my nieces and nephews. Like I was just wasting a lot of money. And I wish I could say like, okay, I learned that lesson from that year. The truth is, I didn't learn that lesson until probably 6 or 7 years afterwards. Like, I was out of the military by the time I truly started learning the lesson. I always was under the mindset, I just need to earn more money. I need to earn more money. I need to earn more money. But I was under the assumption that the only way to earn money is I have to give up my time. So I was working two jobs. Then I picked up doing private security at night for some rich clients. Like I was working myself to death, actually. I was literally dead tired. It used to be to where I would get off work like 2, 3 in the morning. I would go to Chantel house. Because usually I was doing security out in that area. So I would go to her house, sleep a couple of hours, drive back to what's the name of that place? Hutchins, Texas. Hutchins, Texas. Hutchins, I think it's Hutchins, Texas. Yeah, Wilmer Hutchins, Texas. I would drive out there to the post office, open up, getting the mail all sorted, leave work around, I think 1 p.m., 2 p.m. Then I would go work my second job at O'Reilly Auto Parts. And then, if it was the weekend, the whole doing the night cycle again. And it was just a repetitive cycle where I was just literally dead tired every day. And then something happened to where Chantel and I, we had a conversation and we both realized we just didn't know how to get ahead with money. Because, I was like, my mom wasn't able to teach me how to do a budget a checkbook or how to save money. I was really honest about that. And then she was telling me, her parents were immigrants from Trinidad and Tobago. So they didn't have the skills to teach her either. And so when we both realized we didn't know how to manage money, we started looking for help. And we started looking for people that we can understand from and learn from. And when we started doing it, that kind of got us to the seconds level. And that's when I got into, I was breaking even. I was, your nose is right above, but you're breaking even. At any minute you can fall below. And I didn't like that feeling. I'm going to be honest with you right now. I did not like that feeling at all. And she didn't like it. And so we really went and put a lot of time into learning how to save and manage money better. We started out with Dave Ramsey. If you're new to, or you've never done a budget before, or if you have a Christian background, I definitely recommend Dave Ramsey to you. Now, I'm not going to say he's bad, anything like that, because there's always, some people, let me just say this, man, like there's a million different ways to solve one problem. Sometimes you just need to figure out the way that's going to help you take the first steps. And what I mean by that is I don't follow Dave Ramsey's advice now because I'm thinking at a bigger level and I know where my goal is. However, when I first started out, those was the steps that I needed. So I'm saying that because like, even if let's say you go check out Dave Ramsey, you're like, man, he ain't for me. That doesn't mean he's the only person that is out there to teach you this. Keep looking, keep searching. I'm just sharing with you who I started with and how they helped me. And so like you have to understand like maybe your journey is going to be different. Maybe you can use some of the people that I'm using now, but like start somewhere. Like for some people, like the people I listen to now, when they hear me, they're like, oh no, this ain't realistic. And that's okay. That is okay. It may not be realistic for your life right now. And this is why I say listen to someone like Dave Ramsey, like just learn how to control your debt. See what it feels like. Get that win of paying off a credit card. Get that win of paying off a past due bill. That may be the things that need you to kick you to the next levels of success. Like don't just look at from the perspective of, oh well, I can't do this. Oh well, what can you do? Focus always on what can you do? Who's giving you something that you can do something with? And that's how you're going to actually become very, very successful in life. And remember, it's progressive, the progressive realization. That means one day at a time. Like, don't try to build Rome in one day. It wasn't built in one day. It was built, who knows how many thousands of years possibly. And so that's how we started getting right there where we would just, paycheck to paycheck. And we didn't like that feeling. We were just like, nah, we're working too hard, paycheck to paycheck. Like, nah, we're good with this. And so then that's when we started implementing saving strategies. We started doing a budget. We started actually literally took a bucket, taped it up so we couldn't get in it, put just enough hole in there to drop money in there. And we had a chart of how much money we supposed to put in each week. And then we would just exit off. Now, in the first 10 weeks, I'm going to be honest with you, it was like, man, am I doing the right thing here? Like, oh man, like I could have been out and went to the movies. I could have went on a date, could have done something with that money. Like it was the fear coming in, the fear of the unknown, because I was stepping into a part of life that I'd never seen before. Like really imagine that. Like you may be like, oh, Jason, it was fearful saving money. Yes, it was. Like we've always been taught to have this limited belief of Murphy's law. Something's going to happen if you have money on hand. And the truth is, that's not true. Like, yes, things are going to happen, but like, you still have to understand how to save money. So keep money on hand, learn how to save it and step through that fear, because on the other side of that fear is knowledge. And when you reach that level of knowledge, it changes who you are. It's like a rubber band. If you stretch a rubber band out to where it snaps, you can't put it back and make it become that same rubber band it used to be. That is the way we are as human beings. We're elastic like rubber band. We can stretch ourselves, stretch ourselves, stretch ourselves. But once we stretch ourselves, we can't go back to the person we once was. That is what it means to actually grow in life. And so when we started doing that, for me, like it gave me a sense of pride. And after a sense of pride, it started showing me, wait, the money I have, there's a lot of money excess that I'm just throwing away and investing in things that are not giving me a return of interest. Because when we first saved, we did a 52-week saving challenge. I think we saved ended up over like 3,000 US dollars together. And we ended up going on a cruise with that. Like, really think, would you like to go on a cruise? Would you like to go on some kind of vacation? Like, don't look at it from how much it costs right now and I don't have it, but can you do it next year? Can you do it 365 days from now? Can you set aside something each and every day? Can you reduce a habit where maybe let's say if you're spending money at a Starbucks coffee, can you not get a Starbucks coffee for just 1 year? Can you make your own coffee for 1 year? Can you just go to a cheaper place for coffee for a year? Can you not eat out every day for a year? Like those are the little things where you start seeing like, you know what, man, I truly value traveling over I do, having this Big Mac at McDonald's, because at the time we were eating a lot of fast food and stuff. And so when we reached that third level of saving more than we spent, it changed our lives drastically, because then we started realizing, hold up, if we want to leave the United States and live abroad, how much money does it really take that we'll need a month? And then we started seeing like, whoa, we can afford this. Then we started looking at doing it. Like that is how crucial this really is. If you start understanding where you sit, what category of you are in when it comes to money, your relationship with money. But then as you're changing your category with the relationship of money, it changes your life. It changes the life of your kids. Like, think about this. Like, even though CC is no longer here with me, I'm still traveling the world. My life didn't just collapse and I had to go back home to the United States, start over. I still was able to travel the world. I'm still able to manage my finances to where I can live abroad, no problem. Like, it isn't because I'm special. It's because I did work and I expanded and grew myself to where I'm able to live this type of life. This is my baseline now, where my baseline used to be living in the United States, living in an apartment. Like my baseline now is still a world traveler. Even though I'm starting over, rebranding my life, rebuilding all of my businesses, I'm still able to hold on to that world traveler. I'm still able to keep the life that I want. And just think about it. What type of life do you want? And if money is the issue right now, why you cannot have that life, what are you going to do to readdress your relationship with money? And just think about that. So that's your action step today, is like, think about how you're going to readdress your relationship with money. And once you start figuring that out, the answers are going to come to you. You're going to start seeing so many opportunities come to you. You're going to be like, man, I never knew this shit was around me all this time. And so, like, that's just a quick video for you today, man. I really hope that helped you out. I was doing my studying with Bob Proctor today about We Were Born Rich, You Were Born Rich. And that really stood out to me today. 'Cause I was like, you know what, man? I never even explained to people exactly how I started out with, like, Jason used to have car title loans, man. Jason, yo, I'm telling you, man, who I was those years ago, I'll sit back and laugh now. But when I remember how I felt as that person, it's not funny, man. And I'm telling you, like, I understand if you're in category 1 or 2, it's not funny. But I'm telling you, like, if I can do it, you can do it. And so hit the like button if you like this type of content. Make sure you subscribe to the channel in case you haven't. And also, if you haven't hit that bell, hit the bell so you can be notified every time I drop a new video. And it will also be notifying you whenever I'm starting to do live videos, when I'm doing master classes, going into 30, 40-minute topic discussions about certain key things. And most importantly, just remember this: I'm Jason, and success is simple once you know how.